Welcome to the Student of Life podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Stevenson, and today we are talking about balance. Let's get into it. So, what is balance? What do I even mean by that? Now, you must first understand that this is a deep podcast where we go beyond the surface level and get down to the root of things. In order for anything to grow, it must be rooted first. So when I say balance, just dive a little deeper with me. There are hundreds of philosophies, religions, and spiritual practices out there. Christianity, Hinduism, the Tao Te Ching flow, all those things. You get it. Now, I believe that you can listen to and read all types of things. But nothing will truly resonate in your life until you experience it for yourself. You may know the knowledge, but to experience it is a different level of understanding. What I found in my life experiences is that balance is truly the equilibrium in life. For example, we would know of no love without hate, no success without failure, rain and sunshine, life and death. The evidence is all around us. The universe is a constant reminder that balance is not just a way of life, but is life itself, constantly in the ebb and flow, bringing balance to our world. When the clouds are too heavy, they fall to the earth as rain. You may also have experiences within your own universe as tears. When we become so overwhelmed with emotions, we release them as our rain. Okay, of course we are not clouds, but somehow we experience their same nature within us. We spend enormous amounts of energy trying to do right, trying to be something for everyone else, trying to constantly elevate our lives through resources outside of ourselves. There is no right or wrong, just the knowing within ourselves. Or as my mom likes to say, how is that working for you? So the same way you can use fire to cook food, if used incorrectly, it can cook you. How the fire is handled is the difference. Two people could be at a party and one experiences bliss, while the other can't wait to get the hell out of there. We are all here in this universe, having our own universal experiences. To say what is right and wrong, that shouldn't be the question. The question should be, what does balance mean for you? Are you handling the fire to enhance or to burn? It's like this. You have two options. One sits on one side of the equation and the other to the opposite end. But if I need fire to cook my food, then on that end it's perfect. But if I need it to burn down a forest, then it's doing the job I need it to do, right? For example, to hear people say that God is my confidant or healer, provider, makes me really think about, where did they even get that from? It came from their own need, their own experiences, needing to balance out their lives and make sense of all of this. Those who have felt betrayed in life say God is their confidant. Those who have been hurt in the past say God is a healer. Someone who's experienced poverty knows God as their provider. And no matter what their stories are, our life experiences shape our physical and spiritual needs. We may not look at them like this, but it is within our own experience. We can even name that missing part of us. The balance in our life ultimately leads us to our destiny, for lack of better words. Unfortunately, most of us go through life unconscious of ourselves and really never understand the part of us that is missing or misplaced in the first place. When you sit and think about it, We come into this world whole and in our purest form. And it's not like we get tainted in a negative way, but more so travel on our own paths. So bringing ourselves to the center or to a balanced place allows us to look at our lives through a bird's eye view and say the things I've been through or am going through are truly here shaping my destiny. And because I am here, pure in the first place, lets me know that I am still pure. I've just got to wash away the bullshit. Again, a lack of better words. So let me clarify what I mean as the bullshit. Like, have you ever seen children interact with each other? Like, children that can't speak yet or still rely heavily on body language, sign language, tones, and vibrations. They have no egos, no hate, or even love, no fear. They don't care if they have food and snots on their face or if their hair's all over the place. I mean, okay, come on, stand in a corner and take a poop. Some of the freest humans I've ever encountered. Now, if you go through life and keep some of these behaviors and attributes, you'd be a questionable adult. So what do? We learn and adapt to keep our human species moving forward. Of course, that balance, finding balance, your center is necessary to grow into an elevated being, or what I like to call baby Jamie or baby you, but as a grown and matured adult. I know this is kind of like contrary, but this is the balance that I'm talking about. Having that childlike, no ego-ness, free to explore this open-mindedness, but also using these life experiences and all the things that we go through as we come into our adulthood to bring this balance into our lives. So, you've made it. We are here at the bottom of the ocean. You've dived in with me, but I want to take you back to the surface so you can now breathe and put all of this into some sort of action, or what I like to call practice. Whether you realize it or not, we are constantly practicing, and practicing makes perfect. I mean, every single day we're doing routines. We go through our lives. You wake up in the morning, you have to do this, you have to do that, you got to get this, and it's this continuous cycle, but we also don't realize that we're practicing the things that we listen to, the things that you read, the things that you partake in and entertain. Those are all part of your practices. But that's for a totally separate podcast. So let's get back into balance. So how can we get and stay balanced? Well, I guess we can keep a part of that in this podcast because it's necessary. And like I said, practice makes perfect. We must always be practicing balance. The perfect starting point is honestly sitting with yourself and being so truly, brutally at first, honest with yourself. I say at first because it feels really brutal to be honest with yourself, but the more you do it, the freer you actually become. So imagine for a second a real balancing skill. If there is so much junk on both sides, to try and pull things off of it bit by bit and get it balanced like perfect, it's never going to work. You must get it all off. Air it out. If you're a person that needs to write it out and start from the beginning. Think about your upbringing, the people that influenced you growing up, the things you've learned at an early age, and how those things got carried into your young adulthood. We must go deep and be honest. Like I said, it may be brutal and it may really, really hurt in the beginning, and you may cry, but it's okay. Remember those clouds. When they get too heavy, they cry. So this time, it's not me you're diving in with, it's yourself. Honesty is the black and white, the yin and yang. It's where you speak and need no filler. It's raw. But that's where we have to start, because then you can begin putting the pieces back together or adding the necessary things back to the balance beam. Like, I'm feeling good for you already, and I hope that you're feeling good for yourself. Now, the first step is the most important and requires the most work, but the work is the journey. And the journey is life. Once you begin putting your life back together in a way that would allow you to handle that fire in the moment to what you need, keeping the balance will be like breathing air. So complex, but effortless. I'm your host, Jamie Stevenson, simply a student of life. Until next time, namaste.